In this video, we're going to talk about billing models for law firms, specifically contingency fees. Contingency fees are the best way to unlock the true value of your services for your client. It's where they don't have to pay any money for the legal services they're getting until they get results. Who wouldn't want that? What that does is it makes the sales process really easy. There's no fee for a consultation. Anybody can come, have a meeting with you. You can figure out whether you can provide services to them, and they don't have to pay you until you get them results. Where do I sign? However, every easy solution comes with its challenges. Contingency fee is one of those. One thing is it's got risk because the client has transferred their risk to you. They're not fronting the money, which means if you don't get them results, you're left holding the bag for all the investment of their legal services. The second challenge that this specific billing model poses is that of cash flow. Because you're fronting the services for your client, you need to be able to bankroll it as well, which means you have to pay your staff, you have to pay the out-of-pocket expenses, all while waiting for their case to not only complete, but also to get paid. The key to profitability when you implement this billing model in your law firm is, number one, decrease the risk. Number two, project your cash flow. So let's talk about what you can do to reduce your risk. The risk is taking on a client that doesn't get a result. So what do? Properly evaluate the merits of the case before you take it on. Before you agree to represent that client, make sure that you're 90 to 100% positive you're gonna win that case. Now that requires that you're really good at what you do. So you have to know your craft as well, which is why people who have been personal injury attorneys or med malpractice attorneys for a long period of time have a leg up on somebody who's new to the industry. You need to get really good at understanding what might happen during that case and what the merits of the case are to limit the risk that you take. So you want to make sure that you're not afraid to say no. Just because there's a living, breathing potential client in front of you doesn't mean you have to say yes to represent them. The last part of decreasing risk is to find ways, whenever possible, to transfer that risk. A lot of law firms, especially in the personal injury space or the medical malpractice space, have third-party providers that are willing for a fee to finance the expenses that you incur, the out-of-pocket expenses that you incur when representing that client. Look at solutions like those to try to limit how much exposure you personally take on. The other area that you really need to win at in order to win with this billing model is to be able to predict your cash flow. See, if you run out of cash in the middle of representing a bunch of clients, you're not going to be able to collect on any of them. So how do we do this? Well, we start by identifying all of our clients and what is the dollar amount that we think we're going to be able to win in this case. Is it going to get settled? Is it going to go to court, go to trial, and get a verdict? Once we have a dollar amount assigned, then we want to assign a percentage. The percentage is our subjective opinion of the likelihood of being able to collect on that money. Now, early on in a case, you might have a low percentage, like 30, 40%. But as the case progresses, that might increase to 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90 or 100%. Those two numbers multiplied by each other is how much we expect to collect on that case. The timeline for when we expect that case to settle or to be completed in court is when we actually expect to collect on it. By knowing those two pieces of information, we can now project the cash flow for every one of our clients, and therefore we can now project the cash flow for every month of the year or the next 2 years. By being able to project the cash flow, it allows us to do something really important, and that is to see where we don't have enough cash. And that's the thing that we need to proactively work on and make sure that we address. Because when you run out of cash, it's likely too late. However, before you run out of cash, you will be able to talk to banks, talk to investors, find some other alternative solution to being able to solve that problem before it becomes the end of your client service. This is one video in a series of videos on billing models for law firms. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you get notified when we release the other videos, which are going to cover things like flat fees, value-based pricing, subscription model, and of course, billing by the hour. This video was a highly technical overview of contingency billing in a law firm. If you want help as you navigate this process, if you want help building out your cash projection model, if you want help lowering your risk, you can do so by joining us in our elite coaching program. Check out more at profitwithlaw.com/elite.